We are live.
Yo, yo, yo. What's happening?
What's going on?
Not much, man. To everybody out there watching, this is the latest installment of Under Construction live on our YouTube channel. Man, you know what? I don't even know if we should even call you a guest at this point anymore, man. You are like Under Construction extended family.
There you go.
Y'all know who it is, man. Brandon Rich back with us, man.
Be rich.
Big Rod, Wild Pops in the building.
What's going on, everybody?
Angry Black fan, Jamal Darby in the building. What's up, Charlotte? 704 surrounding areas. We are back. And quite honestly, y'all, I'm suffering. I mean, like, I can't take it anymore. I need a beer, a patio, somebody getting dunked on, some wings. What about y'all, man? How are y'all surviving? Let's start with B-Rich, man. Sorry to guess.
No, man. Particularly the wings sound like a great idea. You know, I've been trying to tell my patients to do these things day to day, hour by hour, but the more it comes, the more stressful, absolutely creative to try to occupy your time and not feel like you're just boring yourself to death.
Right.
It's definitely been a challenge. So yeah, I would love to see somebody get boomed on it. That's what I'm saying. What is it? Next Sunday is a documentary.
Hey, right,
Yes,
right. I'm counting down, bro.
Yo, I'm about to break out. I'm about to YouTube all the old NBA Showtime and Airtime and Come Fly With Me's and all this other stuff so I can be 11 and 12 again.
Rodney, what's going on with you, man? How you surviving the Rona, man? How you keep yourself busy, brother?
Man, Friday nights is cookout night at the house, man. Pour a couple drinks up, light up the fire pit.
There it is.
Put the food on the grill and just listen to music in the backyard and just sit there, man. Friday night's grilling night.
So next Friday, man, like set up a little table like at the end of your driveway and have my plate ready, and I'm gonna just drive by and grab the plate so I can get on my plate, man. And we can keep the social distancing and I can eat. How about that, bro?
Hey, man, look. I don't share my quarantine food, man.
We see how you do, man.
Look. Seriously, man, look, going to the grocery store is a risk in itself.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. No doubt. But anyway.
But other than that, man, we just we've been chilling, man. We actually restarted our garden, getting everything straight, man, just fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, man. And I'm trying to avoid this quarantine weight. I don't need any more weight. So I'm going to walk around and exercise videos and stuff like that.
There you go. So, fellas, I wanted to share something with y'all this afternoon, man. And I think, Rodney.
Wait. How have you been doing?
Man, listen. All right, I'm sorry. Well, as me and Rodney discussed before we went live, I am on year 9 of my Madden franchise with the Panthers. I have successfully won 3 Super Bowls. Clap it up. There we go. I'm co-parenting a dog who keeps me busy, man. He's around here somewhere. Other than that, man, I'm still working, unfortunately, a little bit, not as much as I was. That's it, man. I mean, other than that, man, I'm just enjoying all these DJ battles on IG Live, man. A lot of DJs keeping us entertained, man, and I'm really enjoying that. And like I told y'all last week, man, just really kind of digging and delving back into old music that I've always loved, man. I've been writing my 30 album, 30 days stuff, man. So just like I said, man, just trying to find inventive ways to keep myself busy. That's it, brother.
Absolutely.
Hey, so who you guys quarantining and chilling with?
Jamal. That's and dog over here.
Hey, man, look.
We have this painting in my thoughts. Like, that's about it.
Right.
Got you.
But as I was mentioning, man, I was watching something this morning. Rodney kind of brought it up to us a couple of days ago as well. And it was going over, it was a special on, I believe it was CNBC that I was watching this morning. Mm-hmm. And the topic was the disproportionate number of African Americans who are being affected by COVID-19, above other races. Yeah, surprise there, right? And it was specifically highlighting like inner cities like Baltimore. Baltimore was the city that they were actually in, and they were talking to one of the city council members in Baltimore. And I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that, man. And you know, the special didn't really tell us anything we probably don't already know. You know what I mean? Talked about lack of access to healthcare. You know, minorities have to work a little more than everybody else does, so we're more exposed to it. But again, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that, man. Rodney, I want to start with you since you brought it up to us a couple of days ago, man, and just kind of tell us your thoughts on that.
One thing that I've heard said a lot is when America gets the flu, African Americans get cancer. We suffer from systematic abuses and tragedies, and they manifest themselves more when there's a pandemic like this going on. Take it for instance, we disproportionately have diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, and heart disease more than any other race. And then most of our jobs are labeled essential. And so we are on the front lines. And so I hate to say this, man, we're mostly in the southern states, and these southern states are kind of slower to action. And so we have to suffer that consequence as well.
Okay. Brandon, what you got, brother?
You know, it's interesting. I was talking about this on another podcast, I guess Thursday. So I could
talk about it. Kaiser Soul Saves in the building. What's up, baby?
What's going on? So
I'm sorry, we didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So my thoughts are this, going to Rod's point, the disproportionate numbers have a lot of correlates when they get there, right? Income, you have gentrification, more people, small amount of space. So, you know, it's just more easy and susceptible to pass it along. Inequalities in healthcare, inequalities of healthcare vocabulary and understanding. I've heard quite a few people go to the doctor have been turned away just because they can't articulate eloquently what their symptoms are.
Wow.
You know, as opposed to saying, you know, like, hey, I have a fever of 101.9. Like, I just feel a little bit warm. And that can make all the difference in the world. It's just kind of like when you build a resume, you want keywords to stand out. And a lot of us aren't educated in how to do that. Actually, I've been talking to quite a few of my friends who are doctors, and we're going to try to do something like that. Try to have a series going forward on medical terminology to help people when they go to the doctor, go to the doctor and get attention. Not just for COVID, but for going forward, because this is something we should use this as an opportunity to say, okay, this is illuminating in such an extreme way the plights that we as Black people experience. And this is what we have to do to change that going forward. So if and when something like this occurs again, that we'll be better equipped to be able to handle this at an earlier date.
Gotcha. Kaiser, just to catch you up to speed a little bit, man. We're just talking about just the disproportionate number of African Americans who are catching the COVID-19 virus. Just talking about the factors and what kind of contributes to that. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, this shouldn't surprise anybody because historically, when it comes to global pandemics or epidemics, it's always an issue of privilege. The most disenfranchised are hit the hardest. If we look at the HIV/AIDS epidemic in the 80s, it hit gay and Black communities the hardest, and as a result, nobody really cared until famous people started dying. And this is something that a lot of people were saying about COVID-19.
Repeat that last part again. Nobody cared till what?
Nobody cared till famous people started dying.
We
saw the same thing with COVID-19. Nobody was taking it seriously in the United States until Tom Hanks got it, which I love Tom Hanks, man. And I'm like, man, please don't let that Rona get Tom Hanks. But seriously, then everything you start to see like all these other celebrities getting in, everyone's like, oh, now it's serious. And it's like it's been killing people all over the world. And if you look at who it was killing in those other countries, you could see the pattern. Essentially, people that were privileged had access to better health care, and not that they weren't getting it, but they were able to get treatment better and faster than those that weren't. So now we're just seeing it in a slightly different context here in the United States because of the African American population here.
I want to play devil's advocate real quickly.
Okay.
So let's say I'm someone who is from the outside looking in, so to speak. And let's say I say to all three of you gentlemen, well, if people just made better choices, maybe they wouldn't be affected like other people are. Argue against that.
Anybody want to take that first? Because I can.
Okay, you got it.
Yes.
You got it.
If people just better take care of themselves, I want to make sure. So when I critique this, I want to make sure I critique it correctly. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay, so yes, and I would say yes, and yes, that is true. But the results of that are not something that one simply controls on their own. The byproduct of choices has to be for some greater good, and the powers that be, they have some power and influence on the consequences of your choices. There's only so much you can do, right? So, whether it's the numbers of African Americans with COVID will go down. Why? Because they'll test fewer Black people. So the numbers will go down. It's very easy to do it that way. So you can say, hey, look, everyone, we're great. We're doing better. And because of the methodology that they're using to assess it, it's fine. So yes, there is some accountability we have to have. There were some Black people on the radio talking about, oh, we're impervious to it because we, for whatever reason, need to show the world how impervious we are to everything. As opposed to just waiting and chilling and saying, you know what, maybe we need to just chill and wait this out and let the scientists and the people who are empowered kind of do their math and do their work.
Right.
But with that being said, you still have you need to work in collaboration with the powers that be. I can't create a test, right? I can't create an antibody. Either I'm negative or I'm positive, or I have an antibody and I had it, and there's so much we don't know yet that simply controlling things that are beyond your control is not something that would be a logical thing to do. So control the things you can.
Gotcha.
Also, to say that about Black Americans in particular, Black people, we're tired of being afraid always. Like, we've been afraid. We're afraid of the police. We're afraid of white people. We're afraid of other Black people. So when they come down and they say, all right, everyone, you guys gotta stay inside because there's a global pandemic, and Black people are like, oh my God, just one more thing to be scared about. Screw that.
Can we live, please? Can we live?
Screw that. I'm going to the courts. I'm going to the gym.
You don't gotta tell me what to do.
I mean, we've survived everything else in this country, right? So I think a lot of us feel like this is just one more thing that I'm just going to survive. And I can see that mentality. Actually, I may not necessarily agree with it, but I completely understand it. And it's just one of those things where hopefully the severity of the situation starts to people become more cognizant of that. This goes on. This ain't ending anytime soon.
Right, Rodney, what you got?
Repeat your question again for me.
To play devil's advocate, if I say, well, if people just took better care of themselves, maybe these numbers wouldn't be so disproportionate. Argue against that. Why is it not that simple?
America as a whole has a problem with obesity, which is a pre-existing condition. Choices got African Americans in the position that we're in now. Your choice to exclude us from things and to make us seem less than, we don't have the same opportunities. So a lot of us are in those frontline jobs, like say a bus driver or a worker at Walmart. And so basically it's just the choice. Okay, do I need to work to eat, or I don't work at all and I don't have nothing to eat?
Right.
So we put ourselves in that risk out of necessity every day, just so that we can and we can have things. And then even if you look at gentrification and displacement, in a lot of our neighborhoods, we didn't have like adequate grocery stores and stuff until we were gentrified out, pushed out, and so that affected our diet. Diet has things to do with diabetes and heart disease. Everything is interconnected,
no doubt.
And a lot of people don't realize all this is interconnected.
Can I tell a little story to that point real quick?
Before
Sure,
you
sure.
do, Brandon, before you do, I just want to say something to Rodney real quick, man. It's funny that you talked about it from that angle, because what I was going to mention is stressors. What do people do when they're stressed? Like, people don't always make the best decisions when they're stressed. What about the stressors that come from the inner city, Black community, what we deal with as a whole? Like, yeah, it's simple to say we'll make better choices, but it's a little harder to make better choices when you have these type of factors on your back, like Rodney mentioned. And that's why I'm glad you came from that angle, because that's kind of what I was going to piggyback off of.
And then before Brandon answers, I'm gonna piggyback. I'm gonna say something else. A lot of Black people we're more community. We're more of a community people. So it's a lot harder for us to self-isolate and get away, because a lot of us, we live with family members and we actually depend upon our family members to help and take care of each other.
Right. And Brandon, and go ahead with your answer, brother.
No. I was just going to say a little bit. Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I was walking to the grocery store, and I live about 3/4 of a mile away from a Harris Teeter, and I forgot that I walked, and I bought a lot of healthy stuff. And you know what healthy stuff is? It's heavy.
Right.
Chips aren't heavy. Apples are heavy, right? So it made me right as you were talking, I was thinking to myself, just as a matter of being able to be convenient, I would much rather buy a bag of Dorito chips than have 10 apples, because 10 apples might weigh way more in the total of my grocery shopping, as compared to having a whole bunch of stuff that's light and fluffy and empty calories that just weighs less. It's just easier for me to carry. So just something like that simple can affect so much down the line. And serotonin, which is the neurotransmitter that makes us feel good, it's in our gut. That's where it is. So that's why we feel better when we eat, is because that's where that is stirred up. So so if we've traditionally been through a lot of oppression and we eat our feelings, our grandparents and our parents, they show us, okay, they sad, so they eat, because the only time they feel good is when they eat. So you associate feeling good with eating.
No doubt. All right.
And then funny thing is Easter Sunday too. I'm about to eat good.
All right, I got one last question related to this topic before we move on. And it's very simple. Why are we not seeing more testing centers in urban communities? Anybody?
Because they don't want the numbers to go up. They don't want another numbers.
Pretty much.
Plus, the logistics of testing in the United States is iffy because of the way our healthcare system is free market. Essentially, it's going to come down to, okay, who are we getting these tests from? Are we getting from pharmaceutical company X or Y or Z? Who's got the best contract? All that stuff is being worked out on the back end, and until that gets sorted out, nobody's going to get tested. I mean,
so are you saying that this is big business, Kaiser? Is that what you're getting at?
Of course. This is why the response in the United States has been lackluster compared to other countries. China notwithstanding, because I don't really believe all of what's coming out of
I don't believe
China
it at all either.
But if it just, I mean, you look at other countries that have universal and free healthcare, and then you look at us. I mean, who's going to pay for the test? We got to get paid for it, right? And so, if we look at Black communities and disenfranchised communities, minority communities, a lot of those people don't have health insurance. But who's going to pay for those tests? And so those things are being worked out. It's a mess. This is one of those things. This is a global pandemic. This is not the flu. We're past the stage of, it's just like the flu. We are way beyond that. If the government has to force pharmaceutical companies to lose money in order for us to get adequate testing for this, then that's what it's got to be. I mean, they'll bail out, large corporations in Wall Street with $1 trillion stimulus packages, but at the same time, they're not willing to print more money to ensure that every American can be tested.
Right.
So I think that's the bigger issue as to why our community specifically can't get these tests.
Rodney, what you got before we move on?
And then historically, you got to look at the racism within the healthcare industry. Black pain has always been seen as less than. We're not really in pain. I mean, it's a lot of issues, man. And like for instance, my dad, he was sick a full week and a half before he got officially diagnosed with the COVID-19.
Because he was okay, right? Everything was cool.
Yeah, he was okay, yeah, and right. He would constantly call and just kind of see what was going on, and he had to kind of jump through hoops, and so it's just like, and on top of that, he's a veteran, and so like it's like our pain is seen as less than, and you got to look at it like this: people are trying to open the government back, and if you can suppress the numbers, you can open the government back up quicker.
No doubt. All right, gentlemen. Unless we have any more thoughts, we are going to move on. That was a really dope segment, man. Good stuff from y'all guys. So on to something way less important, but a lot more entertaining. Now we do it. Now, Kaza, we got two guys here who did not watch this legendary hip hop event that happened last night.
I watched some of it.
I'm so disappointed in y'all, man. So here's what we're gonna do. Me and Kaiser, we're gonna break down this battle from last night.
All right.
The two gentlemen who did not watch, who I shall not name, but they're on the show. I want y'all to kind of compare hits, compare RZA and Primo. I don't know, hits.
By the way, 200,000 people watched that last night.
Crazy, man.
That's insane.
Crazy. It's insane. It was a beautiful.
Way more than I expected.
Kaza, I'm gonna just come out with the obvious question, not an obvious question, but just a simple question: who won? Who do you think won? Did anybody win this battle?
Okay, I'm gonna say the cliche answer that the culture won. Everybody won. It was really a historic moment for hip hop in our current digital age. It really was. I mean, because we had deep battles before, but nothing. You got two legendary elite tier hip hop producers, like people that have been there since the beginning, literally. And then for them to go, track for track, the way they fed off each other. I love how RZA be like, yo, all right, here go Verbal Intercourse, Nas track. And Primo, who wrote the book on Nas production, was like, oh, you got Nas track? Okay, I got one too. Then he dropped.
I got Nas like,
right. That was just incredible. As far as who I think won, it comes down to this. If you are a Wu fan, you're going to think the RZA won.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. He played all of the Wu, their biggest hits. And to be fair, this is not really a knock on RZA, but he didn't have a choice because that's 90% of his catalog is Wu-Tang stuff. Whereas Premier has worked with, his very first track he played was a Jay-Z song. And then he played MOP and then Mos Def. He didn't even play a Gangstar track until like 10 songs in. Yeah. So if you're a Wu fan, and I think a lot of people, when they think about the Wu-Tang Clan, we remember the zeitgeist of hip-hop culture in the 90s. What Wu-Tang meant to that. It was like
it was a movement. It was an entire movement.
It was. It wasn't just a series of albums. It was like I said, it was a movement.
Woo worldwide.
Exactly. You look at how Wu-Tang has permeated to hip hop culture in other musical cultures. It's hard to deny the influence of Wu-Tang. So therefore, RZA kind of had an advantage on a lot of tracks because he would play something like. I'm trying to think. He played like some Wu-Tang song that everyone just loved, and it didn't matter what Primo played after that. It could have been a better song, but people are going to be like, RZA won.
Let me speak to that real quick. Let me speak to that real quick, Kaza. There are some instances where I felt like the audience kind of forgot it's a beat battle. You get what I'm saying? Like at the heart of what this is, it's a beat battle. It's not a song popularity battle. You get what I'm saying? But it's hard to tell a hip hop audience who's been so engulfed in these songs and have listened to these songs thousands of times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of the artists kind of lost sense of what it really was. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, Brent, I want to ask you something, man. If you were watching last night, and RZA throws on verbal intercourse.
Okay.
Premier comes back and throws on Nas's Like. Who wins that?
That was a tough one, man. That was a tough one.
RZA won that one.
Riley goes, who you got, Brandon?
I don't know, man. I think Nas might have got that one. I think come on with that one.
Here's the problem with that, and this is one of the close ones. Verbal Intercourse is a better song.
Right.
Nas's Like is a better beat.
Thank you.
Yes.
I
So because when we think of Verbal Intercourse, I think of Nas's verse. Through the lights, camera, act, start, good, and go. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think of when I think. But when I think Nas's Like, I think that. I think the production.
Now look,
and that's where I think people were getting caught up. My man Ja Freedom said that RZA played a lot of poo that y'all liked because it had some of the flyest bars of all time on it. Meaning, y'all just remember how dope the MCs were over these tracks.
And you forgot about the beat.
The beat itself, right?
And let me tell y'all, man. And now there was a moment in period. There was a time where I kind of missed some of the battle toward the end. But I don't think RZA even played Triumph. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, guys.
Well, if he didn't, then it's correct.
Yeah, he played it after the battle. So originally they're gonna go 20 songs,
right?
And then everyone liked it so much, they went 8 more. And he played Triumph in that last 8. Which, man, I'm okay, man. You know, everyone's gonna think I'm a Wu hater. I love the Wu. I even bought like them Killer Bees albums. Remember that were albums, but weren't really Wu albums.
I paid $40. You was buying the Wu Syndicate albums.
Right, yeah, I paid $40 to see Capadonna. It was the worst show ever. I'm a Wu fan. Dog,
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Man. Anyway, so I am a Wu fan, but y'all gotta stop standing for Triumph like it's the greatest song ever made. It's not even.
I'm not a Wu fan, and I'm not a fan of that track, man.
Listen, man.
The reason people like that song is because that was the comeback of Wu. Remember, that was the main track off of the second album where they were finally all back together. That's why the song was Triumph. And then you had everybody in the Wu spit a verse. But I mean, the song's got no hook. It's got
that's the beautiful part about it. It doesn't have a hook. It's still dope.
I don't know, man. It's not. Everyone's like, yo, when he played Triumph, it's over. It's like, really? Triumph is what we're thinking of?
Yes.
I don't know. Personally, I thought Protect Your Neck is a better song than Triumph.
It's a better beat.
Run is a better song. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Brandon, let me ask you, man. Just if you could name 3 Wu-Tang beats that you feel are some of the best beats, name 3 beats if you got it.
Method Man, METHOD, man. Like that was clean. Yeah,
he played that. He played that last night.
Trying, it's just something about trying. I feel like I'm about to go dip my Timbs and get my cheese. And Cream. I like Cream.
All right.
I think Cream is a clean beat.
We know you don't like East Coast rap, man, but try your best.
No. Listen. Do I have to do Wu-Tang or can I do a Wu-Tang member?
Do Wu-Tang.
Yeah, any affiliated beat.
I love Brooklyn Zoo.
All right.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
By the way, real quick, not to cut you off. RZA didn't produce Brooklyn Zoo, and he played it during the battle. By the way, so the internet didn't about that. Yeah, he didn't produce that.
He still got a point deducted.
Yeah,
Point deduction, time out. He lost that round.
I love Brooklyn Zoo too. So like my favorite movie.
Cream and Mary J and Meth. You all I need to get by.
Oh, you all I need. Okay, yeah.
All
The
right.
remix.
Yeah, which version?
Yeah.
All right.
Remix.
Okay.
There was one song I did not hear. Well, one beat. I'm trying to change this up, man. There was one beat I did not hear last night, and I wanted to jump through my phone at RZA. Why did he not play Glaciers of Ice by Raekwon's Glaciers of Ice, man?
He probably didn't produce it. Hold on, we gonna yeah.
Well, if he playing songs he produced, he might as well have played that one. You just play a good one then. I mean, really, that was clean. Yeah, that's wow.
I mean, Only Built for Cuban Links is a classic album, and I think the fact that that's a classic, he could have played anything off of that, and fans would have been like, "Yo!" I mean, during the Instagram chat, people was like, "Yo, he just need to play the stuff off the Purple tape," and it was kind of like, all right, whatever.
Hey, Kazu, question for you, real quick, man. Our producer DJ friend Job Freedom also said something else. He said that Primo could have really just watched RZA if he wanted to, but he didn't play the right stuff. He didn't play some of his best work. Do you agree with that?
I don't disagree. In fact, at the beginning of the battle, I was like, "Yo, Primo going kind of light." He was playing bangers.
I agree.
Jay-Z, Million and One Questions. He played MOP Breaking the Rules, which is dope. Most Def, Mathematics. Those are dope songs.
But he has better stuff though.
Yeah, but RZA's playing Liquid Swords and Bring the Pain. You know what I'm saying? He's coming out with the hit. Whereas Primo, and then Primo was like, "Yo, all right, yo, I'm gonna play this B-side." B-side?
Why?
RZA would never play a B-side. I don't even know if he had any B-side. I think Glaciers of Ice was a B-side actor. That's probably why I didn't play it. But
hey, listen. I kind of got the feeling like Primo was being too much of a hip hop snob.
You like that though. You a snob. You like that.
Hey, listen. He was
he only played one Royce the 5'9" joint.
Yeah, that was dope.
You know, he could have played You Lose. He could have played anything from like the last 2 years. You know, I feel like he was trying to keep it civil. I'll just say this. As a hip hop fan, as a hip hop MC and producer, I love RZA's production, but DJ Premier to me is who I would want to produce an album for me as far as beats. If someone said, "Hey, Kyler, man, whose beats you want to rap over?" I'm not even thinking RZA. I'm not even. I pick Pete Rock, and you know I pick Dilla. Way
Pete Rock is crazy, man. Stop the discussion right here. Stop it right here. Pete Rock needs to be in somebody's battle in the next month or something. I'm about to start a damn campaign. I'm about to start one of my petitions for Pete Rock to be in a battle with somebody. I don't know who yet. Maybe Pete Rock versus the Alchemist or something. But Pete Rock needs to be.
So let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
5 producers. If you're a rapper, who would you want to rap on? Who beat would you want to rap on?
You stole my question, but
I'll do it because I'm an easy choice. Jay Dilla, number one. Rest in peace, Jay Dilla. I feel like as far as producing a song to rap over, I mean, rapping with Jay Dilla beats almost cheating. It's just too easy. So I'm gonna say Dilla Premier, Pete Rock. I'm gonna throw a curveball at y'all. Dr. Dre. Now I know that Dr. Dre gets a lot of flack because they say he didn't produce a lot of his own beats.
He didn't.
You know, he had a team, but Dre produced some bangers. He produced.
Yeah.
I mean, he did.
Call whatever you want to, but his name is credited with some classics. So call that whatever you want to. Brandon, what you got?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it myself. I'm gonna say Dungeon Family, Organized Noise, Outkast too.
I was gonna say Organized Noise. That was one of mine.
Yeah, I really feel like if you're looking at Southern rap, Me personally, I'll always think that Outkast put them on the map. I know Ghetto Boys existed before, but if you look at the explosion of Southern hip hop in the 90s, Atlanta was it, and Outkast was the forefront of that. And if you look at the production on Southern Playalistic, God, I'm good Lord, every cut on that was incredible. ATA, I mean, just just incredible. So that's my five.
Wow. So Organized Noise. Like Q-Tip, his production, he doesn't do a lot, but when he does it, it's his fire. I'm just trying to think. Kanye West as a producer. I like Pimp C stuff. I like his production. His production.
That was one of mine.
And I don't know, just what coming to mind to have. Who can actually make a banger? Missy.
Yeah. Okay.
Missy.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to start it off with DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia, man.
Okay.
He got an Oscar.
Pharrell.
Okay.
Pharrell. Kanye. I'm gonna say Manny Fresh and Organized Noise.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give y'all
Manny Fresh and Organized Noise.
I'm gonna give y'all five real quick, and I'm gonna cheat. So I'm gonna say the and for those of y'all know who is basically Dylan Q-Tip. So two. That's two right there. Dylan Tip, Salam Remy. I'm gonna go No ID.
Okay.
Number five. God, why is number five so hard? If I thought I had that shit on number five, would I go? Damn, this is tough enough, man. I'll go Pete Rock.
Just play.
Pete Rock, Salam Remy, No ID. You know, that's my five.
So somebody in the chat was like, Lee Mitchell was like, no Just Blaze.
Hey, Just Blaze is nasty, man.
Yeah.
I honestly think that cat is a little underrated, man.
But I think the only thing with guys like Just Blaze is, and even Kanye to some extent, we lost Jamal, is that those guys came post millennium, and for a lot of like me and Jamal, we are pre-2000 hip hop heads. So I'm not gonna gravitate to Kanye like I would DJ Premier, even though I think Kanye West is an incredible producer, a much better producer than he is a rapper. And Just Blaze, everything he makes is a banger. But it's just like when I think about rap stylistically and what I like to hear, the guys that I know that I pick are gonna bring out what I like to hear in the rap.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
Can't argue with that one.
I mean, you actually pull from your influences. Can't argue with it.
And look, and the thing is, this is so much easier. This is so much easier for Kaz to answer because we can't rap. Kaz can actually rap. So, you know what I'm saying? This topic is right up his alley.
I'm retired, so don't be asking for the verse.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second, man. We'll see you at a show as soon as this Rona thing over with.
All right, Joe Budden.
All right.
Joe Budden.
Next question, man. So I've already said I wanted to see Pete Rock and maybe the Alchemist go at it, man. Who y'all want to see go at it?
I would imagine
DJ Quick and DJ Battle Cat. Let's take it to the West Coast.
Ooh. All right, that's cool. All right, nice.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take that one.
And hey, Roddy, I know you want to rep for the South, man. Who you got?
No. I'm gonna take it back. Look, I actually want that Babyface and that Teddy Riley battle to come back, man. They need to find some way to do it.
I think it is coming back from what I understand. I hope I'm right about that, but I actually think it's going to happen next weekend.
But
Please let it
I'll say
happen. I was looking forward
I
to it.
would like a caveat to all future beat battles.
All right.
No lyrics. No lyrics.
Just beats.
Just the beats.
No lyrics?
Just the beats. I thought, I felt like the battle would have been seen differently if they had just played instrumentals.
I agree.
I assumed that's what they were going to do, but obviously they did not. The energy is different when someone is rapping over a track because a rapper's voice is like its own instrument. So it does add something to a track if somebody's rapping over it. Imagine MOP without them rapping on it. The
Right.
vibe is different.
Way different.
If they ain't talking about robbing people and shooting people, you don't feel that.
So listen. MOP without music is basically getting cussed out. It's basically getting yelled at. Basically.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean, if I go ahead, Brandon.
No, I'm not going to say producers per se, but I would say figureheads.
Okay.
I would want Diddy and Jermaine Dupri to do something.
Okay.
Just as figureheads and have their production crews. I think that'll be a clean one.
Hey, man.
Hey, who would win that? Hey, who would win that? Honestly.
Hey, Jermaine Dupri is underrated, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, listen.
Jermaine got him, man.
And Jermaine, that catalog is long, man. That catalog is pretty lengthy with Jermaine Dupri, bro.
That Dallas Austin catalog.
Yeah.
But man, you can't, if you're not like 12 years old, you can't be in Jermaine. You can't start off.
That's true. That is true. Exactly.
Hey man, he made a lot of money off them kids, boy. He made a lot of money off
Hey man. He killed all them kids, man.
Hey, look,
that Chris Cross tonight though, that's the cold beat.
Chris Cross's second album is kind of underrated because Chris Cross was novelty, and then the second album they grew up. They could actually rap some. They had features Redman, the Black. It was a good album, but by that point, we remembered him from Jump and
Jump, yeah.
I missed the bus and yeah.
And that tonight's night is fire though, man.
It's fire.
This is real Charlotte talk right here. Jamal Darby might remember this, but you remember the Be Cool, Stay in School?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And they didn't tell nobody. There was in the Charlotte Coliseum, and they were like, "We got a special guest for y'all tonight." And they was like, "Special guest? What the hell?" Chris Cross and if you could have placed a nuke inside of
Charlotte Coliseum.
Oh, you talking about the 1991 All-Star game?
Yeah. Yes.
I was there.
Because they were there for the All-Star game, so they showed up for the Be Cool, Stay in School jam.
Yep, I was there.
And Will Smith and Tevin Campbell was there too. And I was mad because Tevin Campbell had all the girls cheering for him. Like, man, he ain't all that, man.
Yes, man. I remember that. I had a orange Pierre Cardin.
Rodney, what you got, man?
It was an orange on orange. I'm telling you, I was clean out there.
I'm done, man. Hey, man, look, Pharrell and Kanye.
Ooh.
Pharrell and Kanye.
That might break.
Pharrell will watch it.
Say that again, Casa.
I said that would break the internet.
Yeah,
I think it would. I think it'd be the most viewed.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know I don't know. See, the thing is, man, like I like early Kanye. Like I don't like post Kim Kardashian Kanye. I don't like post Kim Kardashian Kanye, man. So if it's pre Kim Kanye versus Pharrell in his prime, man, that's a heavyweight fight, man. I don't know how to pick that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I will say this though. I'll say this, man. Pharrell's early stuff, like I'm talking about, like the stuff he was doing with like Khalees. You know what I'm saying? The stuff, and Nori. Yeah. Like I don't know if Kanye can fool with that, man, because that stuff was.
Yeah.
That was fire, man.
Clip.
Yeah.
Clips, yeah.
Somebody might need to set that up, man.
Look.
That'd be fun.
Pharrell's own stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you got the you got the NERD stuff. You got Neptune stuff. You got.
When he was 15.
Say it again, Kaiser.
Pharrell did Rump Shaker
When he
for
was
Teddy
15.
Riley. 15.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's genius stuff.
And it's still a banger now. If you play Rump Shaker right now in the club, cats go crazy.
No doubt. I just thought about something, man. So supposedly Babyface was taking on Teddy Riley. I want to flip it up a little bit. What if Teddy Riley went against Dallas Austin? Who you taking?
Ooh, okay. So I'll say this. I think on the surface, people will think that
Teddy Riley will win.
That Teddy will, until they listen to all the songs that Dallas Austin produced and was like, I didn't know he did that.
Totally agree. Yes, sir.
Man,
totally agree.
Oh my God. He was Southern R&B for like a long time. Oh my God. Yeah. I think it'd be one of those. He'd be like, oh, he did this? He did this?
Because Teddy was the front man for Guy. He was more up front and center, kind of like Pharrell is now, so he was. He's like,
I'm laughing at. Hey, listen, at Kaz, I'm laughing at Brian at Ryan's comment, man. He said my favorite Kanye's album is the latest one. not even. No, sir. Not even.
Don't realize what Dallas Austin produced. How far back his discography goes.
He's a beast, man.
It's just songs that people just never even know. And from every genre too.
No doubt, man. Yeah. Hey, listen. Here's a little known fact about Dallas Austin. Not that the R&B world cares about this, but just a little known fact, man. Like after his popularity kind of waned a little bit, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, he was actually produced. He actually had rock projects. You know what I'm saying? That just kind of speaks to how crazy of an artist he really is, man. He was doing stuff with rock groups in the early 2000s, but after he just, I don't know, stopped fooling with TLC or whatever, man. So a little bone I want to throw out there.
Hey, fun fact, Chili's his baby mama. He already won.
Right.
Yeah,
well, for real can't claim that.
Nah, yeah, that's prime Chili too.
That's prime. That's like crazy sexy cool Chili too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
hey, hip hop hands. I got this question: Pete Rock versus Alchemist. Who you got?
I'm taking Pete Rock, man.
Pete Rock, but I'm not gonna tell Alchemist short. That's a closer battle. It's easier to be more objective in that battle than RZA versus Primo, because RZA is tied to the Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan, right.
Whereas Pete Rock and Alchemist aren't really tied to, something as big as the Wu. But I would pick Pete Rock over that. I mean, hell, he could play.
I pick Pete Rock over a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Rock's pretty good. Yeah. So we're not gonna get Timberland any love.
I'll say this. Okay, I got one. Timberland versus Swiss Beats.
Timberland. I don't like Swiss Beats, man.
Oh, man.
No, Swiss Beats clean. But
Okay, so here's
probably Timberland.
I'm not a huge Swiss Beats fan, but his songs that are really good are really good.
They're really good, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Timberland has a more consistent catalog, but I think Swizz could be a little bit more diverse. I don't know. Sometimes being consistent isn't a good thing, because a Timberland beat when you hear it. That, especially if it was like 96, you'd be like, oh, that's
right. You'd be like, is that crickets and dinosaurs in this beat?
he got crying babies like that. I know that's Timberland.
Right.
All right, let me speak to that real quick, y'all. Here's how I feel about Timberland and Swiss Beats. Early Timberland probably trumps Swiss Beats a little bit. Late Swiss Beats probably trumps Timberland. I feel like after a while, Timberland's stuff started sounding very redundant towards, like, I don't know, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. I feel like it was like, all right, we heard this song. I feel like we were hearing the same song with Timberland. You get what I'm saying? And I felt like Swizzy got better. I feel like.
But you also got to remember that he did Justin Timberlake stuff too. So him and Pharrell did. So that's that renaissance. So that's when you're gonna get the 30-year-olds who like, oh my God, when I was in high school, this was the banger. So you got a lot of those.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I wanted to hate Justin Timberlake. Like I really wanted to. Like my soul was like, man, I want to hate this dude. But that damn debut album, man, I can't front, bro. I'm like, you got it, man.
That's a clean album, dude.
You guys got a question. Justin Timberlake versus Usher.
Who?
Justin Timberlake versus Usher.
What we doing? We dancing. We trying to make babies. What we trying to do?
Song for song.
Usher got a long catalog, man.
I'm gonna just pick Usher. Really. I was for the culture. I really like Justin Timberlake. I don't know about his last album. I didn't really listen to it all that much, but I'm just gonna go with Usher on this one just because I feel like I have to.
I'm gonna go with Usher just due to longevity. I think his catalog just trumps Timberlake's, man. That's about it, honestly.
Yeah, I think if you do that, yeah. I mean, but I think if you just like put a club banger like Yeah versus like Sexy Back or something like that, that's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be a battle. That's gonna be heavyweight. That's gonna be a battle.
Or Suit and Tie.
Yeah,
you put that on.
Look, I personally hate that song. I personally hate that damn song, but I get it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, that's a tough one. I'll probably go with Usher for the same reason.
I do.
I pray for the longevity because he had the Can You Get With It and My Way and in 8701 before Timberlake was even the thing. So
I mean, Timberlake implemented some of that NSYNC shit too, man.
True.
Yeah, man, I ain't like that.
I ain't like that.
I ain't like it either, but hey, they had some bangers, man. That bye.
Hell no, man. Hell no. I'll kick you off. I'll kick you off this damn show. You mention that again. Hell no, man.
That TRL nonsense.
Speaking of TRL, that was the worst time in music history. That like the fucking worst time.
So bad.
Dog, everything was bad. Rock was bad. Pop music was bad. R&B was changing. Hip hop was. It was just bad, man.
Just like sports. Think about like the time in sports. It was bad then too. Like
the NBA lockout was going on around the same time.
Oh man, yeah, you had them scores 58-72 in the NBA. You like y'all go by 2s and 3s. How the hell y'all do that? Like,
because what you was gonna say, man.
No, the new millennium was a weird time. Those of us,
it was
our formative years. I mean, I was in year 2000. I had just turned 20. I was in the Air Force. I was just becoming an adult in this new post-millennium world. And it was very weird when I think back to like the first 2 years of the 2000s were I just kind of erased them from my memory. And then when September 11 happened, it never got better. It was just like, it was just weird. Yeah.
Man, this kind of puts in perspective how bad the new millennium was when it came to music. Listen, man, I respect Fred Durst because he has a lot of hip hop knowledge. But what was the name of his group, man? They sucked. They were so bad. But yet,
Premier. I'm glad he played this during the battle. DJ Premier did a joint for him.
I know. And I'm like, oh my God, man.
He's from North Carolina, I think.
Oh man.
Yeah. True story.
All right.
I used to work with Fred Durst's brother, Corey Durst. He was a weapons loader in the 77th Fighter Squadron at Shaw Air Force Base. And when I first got there, people be like, yo, that's Fred Durst's brother. And I'm like, no, it's not. They just have the same last name. No, it really was. Everyone would be like, yo, dude, like, why are you in the Air Force? Your brother is like...
Your brother's like a big star, right?
And he was like, they're not very good. I gotta make some.
They're not gonna last very long, right. So I need some income.
They gotta hit
it. We'll be sleeping on my couch in 20 years.
Hey, listen.
Oh yeah, that was because think about it. So you had Napster come out. So all the music industries were like pulling their money out. because they were like, we ain't making any bread. So they just start. So that's when the producer became a thing. So like Timbaland and Pharrell, and they were kind of like on the forefront of that. They kind of saw it, because after that it was like, we'll pay the producer, we'll give you $1 million and you figure it out. Right. Instead of supposed to giving everybody their bread. And then you had your Manny Freshes, and you had your house producers.
Hey, I'm gonna give y'all a free preview to something, okay? And this is gonna speak to how bad, again, music was back then. All right. So y'all know I'm doing this 30 hours in 30 days, right?
Yep.
Y'all are the first people to know this. There's an album that I'm going to post at some point, okay? The album is a Sarah McLachlan album. And let me tell you why I'm going to post it. There was a point in time I was so disenfranchised with music, I was just looking for anything that I liked, okay? And I came across this video that I liked for her. And I actually went out and bought the damn CD, and I actually loved it. Like, I listened to the CD. I forget the name of the shit, but I listen to it to this day. That's how disenfranchised I was with music in the early 2000s. I went looking for little fair women's music. That's how disenfranchised I was with music, man. That's how bad it was.
I'm gonna tell you. So I'll give you another reason how bad it was. Jay-Z almost lost it. Volume 1, that is not a good album.
It's not.
It is not a good album. He was that close to like, ooh.
Well,
like
at that time, Jay-Z was stretching himself thin. He was doing his own thing, and then he had The Rock. Well, I mean, whatever happened to Emil? Where's she at?
Sprint. I think she working Sprint.
Hey, gone. It was. So it was a weird conference, but there was a good thing that came out of it. It gave rise to underground and independent hip hop artists.
Because Rawkus was winning during that time. Rawkus was a big deal, man.
Lyricist Lounge, Sound Bombing, Volume 1 and 2. I mean, great album. It was also the rise of the MP3, so people were kind of like, I can make my own music and distribute it now, and it made the industry turn more towards the artists, for better or for worse now. But at least we got that from it. So.
Hey, Lee Mitchell says no Jay-Z slander allowed. Hey. Sorry, my bad, y'all. Lee, our bad, bro.
Okay.
You came out reason without, and this is what you come back with.
All right, y'all. So I want to take a moment to speak to under construction fans real quickly, y'all. Everybody knows what's going on, man. We're in a very weird time in society. Okay. Needless to say that 3 to 4 guys who love talking about sports have no sports to talk about. With that being said, for those of y'all who are still tuning in and interested in what we have to say every week, man, we appreciate y'all. I can't say that enough, man. We are trying to work this thing out like every week. Every week we like, man, what the hell are we going to talk about? And yet we come up with some content to give y'all, man. We are trying our best. We will even take suggestions if there's anything y'all want to talk about one week. Let us know. We're interactive. We're not. This is a democracy. Let us know, man. So I just want to shout our fans out who are putting up with us every week. We are still trying to give y'all content. Yes, Lee, Kingdom Come was a terrible album, by the way, but I digress. It was a frisbee.
It got some good beats, but
that album, man, I threw away that album, man. But anyway. Back to what I was saying, man. I just want to just say thank you to the fans, man. I just had to get that off my chest, man. So thank you, y'all. Appreciate it.
Cool. All right. So I want to bring. So I'm gonna ask a question.
Hold on, Roddy. Roddy, hold on real quick. Brandon, what you got?
All right. So my friends and I from Morehouse, we've been talking about like black market coronavirus plights. Right?
Okay.
So the plight of the black market because of Corona. So we just saying funny stuff. So
yeah. I know where this is going.
What is one industry that you think is really gonna suffer? Because mine is the prostitution industry and the side chick industry. It's a wrap.
Yeah. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Oh, May coming?
Over right now.
Oh,
it's over.
It's a wrap.
Hey man,
it's over.
So all those little seedy motels and stuff, y'all need to start getting your real estate packages together because all those about to close. All that North Tryons, all that Clean Road,
Tom Hunter Road.
All that shit about to be gone. So get your pennies up, get that real estate popping, because Because the whole can't even be on the stroll. Like they can't even go outside anymore. Like
they can't even go outside, man.
Nope.
Listen. If I had the capital to make this happen, if I had the capital to make this happen, I would set up virtual strip clubs. But I don't have the capital to make that happen, man. So, I mean, it's an industry that's there for the taking, man.
I'm telling you, all you got to do. All you got to figure out is how to give some Bath and Body Works cucumber melon through the computer, and you'll be fine. Once you figure that out, you win.
When we get off camera, we got to talk because I've already been working on this secretly. We got to make money over here.
Hey, other construction got to come up, man. We got to keep it creative, man.
Yeah, man. So it's like we're gonna have a 4D experience.
Rodney, what you got, man?
Hey, man, look. Go to Little Boosie's live stream. He has virtual strip clubs every night.
he got a lot more going on than just stripping. I would just let people know.
Hey, he too wild for me.
He too wild for me, man.
I don't watch.
Hey, man, let's answer Ryan's questions real quick, man, before we get off of here.
Okay.
Ryan says, do we think that sporting events are going to return to normal? Who want to take that one?
Not in 2020.
I agree.
No,
I agree.
Not in 2020.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The cost is too high.
I think, unless a vaccine comes out and people feel safe, then I don't think it'll go back to normal this season. I think
we need a vaccine in another season
Right.
for it to go and see
how
we deal with it. Yeah.
And plus, it's going to come down to the whether we like it or not, the government and the authorities are going to have to start giving their votes of confidence before professional sports start, loosening the reins. So,
no doubt. Rodney, what you got?
It's never going to be normal again for me. I'm always going to be cognizant of the person who's sneezing and coughing. I'm to be honest with you, I might start wearing a face mask on the regular. To be real with you, I mean, I can't afford to get sick. I have conditions. I mean,
real quick on that,
virus doesn't come back.
Kaiser, what you got?
Real quick on anyone that's ever traveled abroad, the face mask thing is super commonplace in other countries, especially where malaria, tuberculosis are still very common. Absolutely. So it's just funny to me because this face mask thing is a new thing in American society. But if you ever, especially Southeast Asia countries, like when I was in South Korea, everyone wore face masks. On the subway, everybody wore face masks. I'm like, why are they wearing face masks? This is crazy. And now here we are in 2020 where this may, like you said, become the new normal. You just may have to wear a face mask everywhere you go now.
Yep.
Crazy stuff, man.
To do it with gloves and some hand sanitizer.
If you can find that, let me know.
I haven't been able to find the sanitizer, but we do have gloves. My wife is a germaphobe.
All right, so shout outs, man. What y'all got? Anybody got shout outs?
I'm gonna give a shout out to my church people, man. It's Resurrection Sunday. Keep social distancing, eat good today, get out, walk, exercise, and just be kind to one another, man.
No doubt. Kaiser, what you got?
Shout out to all the restaurant workers and restaurants. I have a lot of friends in the industry. They are struggling right now. I know there's not a whole lot that can be done, but just remember that when this thing is over, however it ends, just remember that when you flood back into those restaurants, just remember how those people make their living. Also, a shout out to the barbers out there. I haven't gone to see my barber in a minute. He's had to shut down.
It's rough. Yeah, it's rough over here, man.
I cut all my joints off a few weeks ago. I was rolling with the top down, saw Rodney and Candace, and it was like, I could tell they was like, yo, is that Kaiser? And so shout out to all those industries that are being severely impacted, especially ones like barbershops, which are very important to the Black community. We can't wait to get y'all back. So.
No doubt. Brandon, what you got?
Shout out to all the healthcare workers, essential staff, all around, from the janitors to the CEOs of hospitals. Man, this is a tough time for us, and it's going to be overwhelming for quite some time. And even though I know they went to school for this, they didn't go to school for this and in these numbers. So just shout out to them, and also just to everybody who's checking up on people. I think now we're about to get into the next few weeks and the next month or so. We're going to really see who friends are. Like at first, it was a shock, right? So everybody's trying to talk to everybody because you haven't heard from anybody in a while. But once that depression starts to kick in, and you're just like, oh my God, this is going to be our new reality for quite some time. I think we're still in the shock phase. So I just want to implore everybody to continue to check on your people, continue to check on your loved ones, even if they don't respond. Just let them know that you're checking on them and making sure that they're okay.
No doubt, man. Absolutely. I want to shout out y'all. Number one, man, I cannot wait until we are able to get back in the basement, in the studio. Listen, man.
The man cave has been so empty and lonely the last few weeks. I even bought new mic stands for us, and I have not got a chance to use them yet. They're just still sitting in the box. It's I can't wait till we're all back together.
For real, man. So
how much we hate David.
Right, there you go. So, man, I want to shout y'all out, man. Brandon, like I said at the beginning of the show, man, you are officially under construction extended family. You are no longer a guest. You are part of you are extended family of under construction now, man. I just want to shout out our listeners. I want to shout out all the essential workers, people who are using essential services like Lyft, Uber, food deliveries. Tip your people, man. Like, they are out here risking it for y'all. So please take care of them. Take care of your family. Take care of your friends. Take care of one another, like Kaiser likes to say. And on that note, y'all, peace, man. Y'all have a blessed day, man.
Peace out, man. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you.
Stay safe, fellas.